There are two different services that being plugged into Google Apps Premiere provides you, and that are kind of big Google application level services, and those are video and groups. And right now, I would just like to start with video and talk about what it is and why it exists, and certainly how to use it. Now, when you fire up, video is not something that's available to standard edition users. And when you fire up Premiere Edition for the first time, you actually will not see video listed here among your settings. And that's a situation where you should remember this link, which is kind of easy to forget, the Add More Services link. Let me go back so you can see me click on that. It's right here next to Service Settings. If I click on Add More Service, in this case, I can see 3 different Google services that I don't currently have live: Wave, Postini, and Contacts. When you first start off with Premiere, you will have video, and I think groups also listed inside of that list. So just go ahead and head over to Add More Services in order to go live with video. And if I see video here, I can see once again that we have this long and cumbersome URL. I can certainly change that if it interests me, and we dealt with that at some length in the first section, so we're not going to do that. So let's go ahead and skip forward to taking a look at the video application. So I can see that one person has already gone ahead, Matt Ledding, and uploaded a video. Let me talk a little bit, and by all means, feel free to go ahead and do that if you are a member of the Coffee Kooks account. It'll make things a little bit easier in case the one that I upload doesn't necessarily take. We'll be able to look at somebody else's. Google Video is an internal video sharing system, and in fact, I've been creating slides and moving away from them. So let me just pull up one of my slides here to show you sort of how I conceptualize these things. You definitely have used video services inside of the public cloud, where you've looked at Google Videos, which isn't so popular anymore compared to YouTube and Vimeo, and actually there are sort of many others. And these are all videos that are posted for wide public consumption to share with the world. When you add video to your Google Apps account by upgrading to Premiere, you have at your disposal a private Google Apps cloud. So essentially what Google Video for Google Apps is a private place for you to post videos that are designed for internal consumption. And I think one of the use cases that Google lists for people who are thinking about doing this, for using video for Google Apps, is for internal training videos. And when I sort of heard about that for the first time, my reaction was like, gosh, that's kind of a specialized use of a specialized product. That would be a pretty big. I can't see somebody switching to Premiere purely for the purpose of using Google Video. But I think that people react very strongly to video. I think that video services take up a very large percentage of the bandwidth of the entire internet. And as Brian mentioned to me, Brian Sawyer, my editor, who was with us, mentioned when he kept a video blog of his experience training for a marathon, it's really easy to sit in front of the camera and just talk for a couple of minutes and then put something up. And so I think that actually in a training environment or in a situation where you want to create a video and talk about an issue, it could be extremely compelling. It's not something that I've ever been in a company that has used video for internal purposes in this way, but I think that it shouldn't be underestimated as something worth considering simply because people just turn on to video. People love video. So I am going to switch back over to video. And basically there's only one video that's been uploaded. I'll take you to the upload dialog. This is an uploading environment that's extremely similar to YouTube. What I'm just going to do real quick is I'll create a little video. And Photo Booth is an application inside of OS X. This is me. Pardon the tie, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and create a little video. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Google Apps Premiere discussion. I can drag this to my desktop. So here's my movie. Apple makes it really easy to do it. So it's a pretty short movie. Let's see if it works. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Google Apps Premiere discussion. I'm going to enter in a title and a little bit of a description, and then go ahead and browse for the file. As you can see over here in the bottom, the file size is limited to 300 megabytes, but installing a software called Gears, which we mentioned but didn't get into, you can have a larger file installed. Now, I want to also, before I go ahead and upload it, draw your attention to the sharing options. The sharing options are actually kind of restricted here. I can make this available to anyone within the coffeekooks.com domain, but I don't have the ability to share these video files with the broader internet in the same way that I do inside of Google Documents. More on that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and click Upload to upload it. It's going to process the video a little bit more. If you've ever put anything on YouTube, you've had this experience. Because as I mentioned, your video cloud should conceptually be considered by you to be completely separate in a Google Apps installation from the rest of the internet. I'm really serious about this, and so is Google. You do not have the ability to take videos that you put into Google Video and share it with the rest of the world. If you ended up creating a video that you used for internal purposes that you ended up wanting to deal with in that way, then you could just use the original file and download it, or download it and take that video and provide it to a public service like or a publicly accessible video upload service like YouTube or Vimeo, if you wanted to do that. So let's go ahead and see if it's in my videos. I'll go ahead and click reload. So it says that my introductory video is there, but it's still processing and it's being compressed. And so let's just take a look instead at this other video that Matt Ledding has created. I can click on this. It's already had 4 views and among 2 viewers, as you can see. And this is a fishing video, which is pretty cool. And Brian Sawyer already commented. So this is it's just one of the neat things about Google Apps. It's kind of crazy to me that I'm sort of showing off a service that people are already, commenting on and playing with. So I'll just go ahead and add my own comment and click submit. I like it too. And basically, if you look at all of the social dynamics that you see at play inside of the commenting on a public forum like YouTube, you have the ability to do that with Google Video as well. And you know, some of that, some of those dynamics are useful, and some of those aren't, and you can just decide for yourself whether it would be useful for your business. So let's see if mine went ahead and uploaded. Yep, it did. It looks like it might have been truncated a little bit. It was only a 6-second video, and it looks like they may have trimmed the edges off of it. And there's Brian again, being very encouraging. Thank you, Brian. So, and if we go back over here, we can see that you know, those options have stayed the same. So this, you know, Google Video, it's simple technologically. It's something that you would have enormous ability to use powerfully if you were in the right context. And you know, I just wanted to show it off, and I'd be happy to answer some questions about this if there are any.
This is from Net Ingenuity in the chat room. It's regarding Google Groups. And they're saying that they have some Yahoo groups which don't let them put an RSS feed on their website. And is there a way to get the Yahoo group into a Google group? And then went on to say, I hope this makes sense to you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, is there a way to migrate a Yahoo group into Google? You know, there's sort of the technical part of that and the behavioral part of that, and you know, the behavioral is just quite simply having the administrator shut down the group and ask everybody to move from one group to another and hope they do. The technical side, you know, there's sort of different flavors of Google Groups in the same way that there are different flavors of all of these other applications, depending on whether you are inside of Google Apps or not. My next whole section is really going to be about one of the two versions of groups inside of Google Apps, and not necessarily with you know, the broader product of Google Groups. So technically, there may be some migratory tools, but not only am I unfamiliar with, I'm not from, there may be migratory tools in the version of Google Groups that exists for normal Google account holders outside of apps. But I'm fairly confident that within apps, there is no technical way of migrating a Yahoo list over to Google. But you probably wouldn't want to do that anyway. I mean, because Yahoo is I don't think that Yahoo has an analog to Google Apps in regards to groups.